Hi, welcome. I'm Preston Grisham. I'm joined today by Lamar Whitman to talk about the Export-Import Bank and the legislation currently pending in Congress and the pending time frame. So, Lamar, how are you?
Hi, Preston. Great. Nice to be here.
Thanks, Lamar. So tell us a little bit, first off, what is the Export-Import Bank and why is it important?
Okay, the Export-Import Bank, or typically referred to as EXIM Bank, was actually established back in 1934 by President Roosevelt. Throughout its history, it's helped U.S. companies convert import opportunities to economic gains. Today, the EXIM Bank provides working capital guarantees, export credit insurance, loan guarantees, and direct loans to exporters. Really, about 85% of the bank's transactions directly benefit U.S. small and medium-sized businesses.
All right, great. So now, currently the bank has an impending deadline. It expires.
Right. The charter for the bank expires on June 30th this year. And if no activity or action by Congress to reauthorize or extend its charter, the bank will cease to exist on June 30.
Can you tell us a little bit about pending legislation, where it is in the House and Senate?
Right. The bills have been introduced in both the House and the Senate to reauthorize or extend the charter of the EXIM Bank. No action has been taken as yet. However, just last week, during the negotiations on the Trade Promotion Authority authorization, Leader McConnell promised a vote on the EXIM Bank legislation in the Senate. The House scenario is a bit more complicated, but at least we know that there is a firm vote coming up in the Senate at a time to be determined.
Okay, so we're looking at some possible progress, a vote before it expires. Is kind of
well, hopefully so, because we're pushing up against the June 30 date. It's just a matter of about 4 weeks off now.
So can you give us an example for those folks that it's still hard to wrap their head around what the EXIM Bank, what it means if the EXIM Bank expires? Kind of an example for even a technology company and how they use the EXIM Bank?
Well, let's take an example of a company that operates in a state and they build, let's say, servers. Typically, this company would have a relationship with a local bank to finance their operations, and the bank and the company are very comfortable with the clientele and with the business activity. However, if the company decides that it wants to sell servers into, say, a South American country, the bank probably won't have any knowledge of international laws, international regulations, risk, etc., and the bank may turn that down for a long-time operating company with which it had a relationship. The company has nowhere to turn. It can turn to the EXIM Bank for assistance.
Okay, so it definitely helps us even not only just financial, it's even some consulting roles to companies.
Absolutely, absolutely. Outside. And one of the big things that's said is that once the EXIM Bank is involved, that the creditors have a sense of security about receiving payments.
Okay, that sounds very valuable. So with the deadline pending June 30th, people that are watching this right now, what can they do to help facilitate this bill being passage, and what can we encourage?
The most important thing that individuals can do is to send a letter to their senators or their congressperson recommending that they take up and pass this EXIM legislation. It's all on grassroots efforts at this point. We have a number of lines drawn in the House vis-a-vis the more conservative caucus in the House are opposed to continuation of the EXIM Bank because they state that it's corporate welfare. However, from our perspective, the substantial amount, like 85% of the funding has gone to small and medium-sized businesses. So it's very important to technology, small and medium-sized, that we continue this because there will be no place left to turn.
Sounds great. So people need to write their local House members, senators, encourage the passage of this legislation before the June 30th deadline.
Absolutely. Write, call, letters are preferred.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you, Lamar. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Preston.